Hello and happy January. Rebecca Zimmerman, Team Zimmerman, Adams, Cameron and Company Realtors. I'm here for a market update. Last reported in November, so I have some good stuff to share with you since November. Let's go ahead and jump in. So last I reported, we had active listings of about 1,500. We are at just over 1,200 listings, so we are lower on our active listings currently. Our absorption rate obviously would drop as well. So we're below 2 months here. Last I reported, we were at 2 months, but obviously if there's less amount of listings, then therefore it would take a less amount of time to absorb into the market. Days on the market remain the same, of course, being that when it goes on the market to closing, it typically is about the same. You got to go through the mortgage process, with the title company. So it's from contract to close, that time is going to stay about the same. So listings sold. This is actually very interesting. And I have a chart that I will show you later that we're going to talk a little bit more about this on listings sold. So as I reported, the past couple of reports, I showed that we were having listings sold, closer to the middle of the year, where we were selling like 800 listings, and then we were slowing down to 700 listings. And then last I reported, we had sold 600 listings. Well, we are back up to 739 sold listings. So the market slowed down just a little bit, and now it looks like after the first of the year, or excuse me, in December, that we're starting to pick up again. Active listings have also decreased since last we spoke. We were about 1,457 active listings last, and we are now at 1,293. So we are short on listings. We've been short on listings all year. And I'm going to emphasize even more so, showing you where we are at a record of having low inventory, not only here in Florida, but nationwide. And as you see on this chart here, you'll see it's incredible. The national average is that we are short on about 26.8% and inventory nationwide. Of course, Florida is a very popular state right now. And actually, Florida is coming in at a deficit of 48.1% in inventory that we need to be able to keep up with market demands. So I have a couple more great slides for you. Here we go. So even though that we have short inventory, so showing time, which is a service that also gives us some great inventory great reporting, is showing time is showing us that we are still having an abundance of people wanting to see homes. So this is reporting over the last 5 Novembers, and typically in November and December, the market slows down a bit because of the holidays. But as you can see, the past 2 years here, the market, people are still wanting to see houses. There's still a huge demand on buyers' sides to be able to show and see property and get under contract. So where does that leave us right now? That leaves us, this is actually very cool. This is really neat information to report. CoreLogic reported in Q3 that homeowners equity across, and we're going to talk nationwide, and then we'll get into Florida here in just a minute. But nationwide, that there was about $57,000 of equity average for homeowners, that you're sitting on, almost $60,000 in equity in your home. Of course, here in Florida, we have seen some equity growth a little bit larger than nationwide. So the national average, like I said, was $56,700 to be precise. And we are looking at an average equity in your homes at $64,000. So of course, everybody's different depending on when you bought the house, and if you bought it in December of 2021, you probably don't have that much equity in it, of course, but this is also on an average basis. So a lot of people are sitting with some great equity in their homes. And so let's talk a little bit about, like, where are we going next year? What are the forecasts for next year? What are we seeing for equity growth in 2022? So as of right now, here are some big names: Fannie, Freddie Mac, CoreLogic. Really this is the National Association of Realtors here, is doing some projections on what the equity growth will be in 2022. So let me back up just a second. In 2021, the overall growth for equity was about 18%, just to give us some perspective on what we're talking about here. So the projected growth in equity for 2022 is averaged at 5.2%, which is still extremely good. In the podcast that I was just listening to, they're saying that this is just really low projections to start off the year. That this is, that we're going to see this average number grow as the months go on, and I will report on that as well, on where we are on the equity growth for the year. Not that 5.2% is a bad growth on any kind of investment. So where are we with interest rates? Because obviously that has a lot to do with growth and where we are in the market and buyers' buying power. So mortgage rates are projecting. So here's a layout, and once again we have the big dogs in play here: Freddie Mac, Fannie, National Association, and they're all projecting us to stay below 4% for this year. So the buying power is still going to stay strong. As you see, we are creeping up as we go towards Q4, and some projections show it breaking into the 4s. But still historically low. Talking about, years, a couple decades ago, we were in the teens in interest rates. So comparatively speaking, the buying power now compared to where we were in history is phenomenal. So our projections for this year are fantastic. We do have, I'm going to stop share here. We do have an opportunity to make some moves if you choose to. Like, what do you want to do with the equity that's in your house? And that's where Eric and I come into play. We come into making a plan. Like, what's the best plan for you? Are you ready to upgrade? Are you ready to downsize, use that equity, downsize and use that equity as a nest egg for you? Are you ready to use that equity in your home to get that 4-bedroom house, that 5-bedroom house, that little extra elbow room on either side? There's some really great opportunities right now. Right now is a really good opportunity to cash in on that equity growth as well. So we would love to talk to you. We're actually putting together some comparative market analysis for some of our past customers and Sphere friends and family to kind of see where you are and what kind of equity you have. So we will be reaching out to you with some of those reports and putting them in the mail to you, and maybe sitting down and saying, maybe this is a good time to make a move one way or another. So look forward to talking to you, and I will report back here shortly at the end of the month, maybe beginning of February, on where we are. So good seeing you, and we will talk soon.